All right. Are we ready to start this party? Can I get some what's ups in the chats? Make sure you add all of those plurals. We've got Monte in the house here with us tonight on bonus stage. We are going to be featuring his Gunstar Heroes album release, and yeah, we're super stoked. Monte, what is going on, man?
How's it going? Happy to be here. Thanks for hosting, Josh. Appreciate it.
Yeah, holy cow. I mean, I've been listening to the album like all week. I've just been like ogling over this album art and like super stoked for tonight and just the program that we have. It's so cool. You got like a real kind of like star-studded cast for the people playing on the album, and just like it seems so momentous.
Yeah, for sure. No, this has been a like I posted a couple times about it. It's an album that's been in the works for 10 plus years or so, basically like back in 2011, I guess 2010, but like around that time, you know, I really wanted to do my own cover album, and Gunstar Heroes was something I was always a huge fan of. And you know, pre Kirby's Dream Band, if people aren't familiar with that, that's the other video game band that I play in.
If people aren't familiar with that, what the hell are they doing here?
Yeah, right. But so like when that band was getting started, basically I guess I could do the origin story, but when that band was getting started, we were trying to find like what music we would want to cover as a video game cover band. And for me, I was always a Sega Genesis kid, me and my brothers. So Sonic and all those tunes were just like super ingrained in my memories, and I always remember the music just being so iconic. And so when Ian Lucky and myself were like talking about doing the band and like, hey, what do we want to do? Like, what do we want to cover? And so I would jump into sort of the Sega catalog, right? And I found Gunstar Heroes and was just like, oh my god! And I never actually played it, which is funny. I didn't know about the game until I started doing some research on music, and I fell in love instantly, and I knew I wanted to cover it one day. So
yeah, and the Sega sound chip, I mean, legendary. I'm pretty sure I don't need to sell that on anybody who's here tonight.
Sure. But FM for life, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, so like I guess that's a little bit of a background on like why you wanted to do the album and stuff like that. But like, why did you need so many people to put this album together?
Because I am not as multi-talented as many of my friends are, unfortunately. But primarily, I'm a keyboardist, really into synthesizers. Grew up playing piano and being in bands, but I always really just stuck on playing keys primarily. And I'm at the same, and so like I wanted, you know, people that were really good at their instruments, right? Really good at their crafts. Like, and I always find myself loving to collaborate more than just doing something completely alone. And you know, there's so many amazing artists in this community that just do, yourself included,
get out of here,
that just do awesome stuff. So I really wanted to get other people involved, and you'll see like we have, I think it's a grand total of 16 other musicians playing on this album, which is pretty crazy.
That's like a super band. You guys should do it live someday.
Yeah, it's almost like a compilation album, right? But like instead of everyone doing their own song, it's like just having guests kind of rotate in. And I think Ryan Munns did that with his Shatterhand album, which I thought was really awesome. And something he and I actually started our albums kind of at the same time when we were arranging and getting this going. So it was really something I knew I wanted to do. And then at the same time, I just love collaborating and getting different people's styles really like integrated into the music. And that's a big sort of direction that I want to do this album, is each song kind of has its own little bit of a style to it. You know, it's a prog rock album that's very synth based, but you know,
well, I mean,
song...
like prog rock with synth. I don't know. That's a little weird.
Yeah, right.
At least in terms of its origins, for sure.
Yeah, the big thing that I emphasize though is like the synths are like at the forefront, which I think is a little different. Usually you have synths and like keys, usually kind of doing background or chords and things like that. And this is very synth forward, which I think is a little different than usual. And
it's your album. You have the right.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I'm a keyboardist, so it's to be expected, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted that, each song kind of has its own vibe, right? Like we have one that's like super metal, and you'll see who's on that. You know, that really brings that level to it, and then something a little more like ambient and kind of just shreddy and things like that. So it's all over the place, but it's fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like you said, you kind of like went with a different style for each song. I guess, did that, like, having those styles in mind, is that kind of like what helped you with the selection out of the soundtrack that you made? Because I mean, it's a 7-track album, and I think you combined 2 tracks at the first start. But like, what was your decision behind the tracks that you chose specifically?
Yeah, so I didn't do all of them because a lot of them are a little, I don't know, they just weren't as like proggy, and some were like more intense boss like tunes, as you'll hear as we're talking. The tunes are playing. Some of them just didn't work for what I was trying to do, and I wanted this to feel like a prog album, like as if it was from, you know, just like a prog band kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I handpicked the ones that I thought would really work together as a, you know, as a succinct sort of. It's more like an EP, I guess, because it's like 7 songs, but it really just, I wanted it to have a certain feel and arc to it from front to back, and you'll see it kind of has this sort of almost like a narrative, I guess, which you know, it's instrumental, so I don't know how. Maybe that's just my own interpretation of it, but
I totally got that vibe. Yeah, like as short as it is, it still feels like a journey, and and that's like, that hits the prog rock feels right there, man. Awesome. You know, I feel like we've just been like talking to people about it. Well, no, this is good conversation. I am having fun, but I wonder if maybe we should actually just listen to the album and start that journey for everybody in the chat. And for those of you who don't know, we also are going to be playing Gunstar Heroes for you live while we listen to these tracks. Just let me get this all queued up here, and we'll start listening. Good doke.
I'm gonna try to follow chat too as much as I can. I'm not it's way over here, so I have to turn over. Hello everyone, good to see you in text form, of course.
All right, well, we're gonna be muting ourselves while we listen to the track so that you guys can enjoy the isolated quality and richness thereof. But yeah, if you got any questions, we'll be happy to take them while we're listening. You ready, Monte?
Yeah, so this first track is the opening to the game and stage 1 kind of medleyed together. And our 2 primary guests on this are Andre Beller, who's in Kirby's Dream Band, and then Kevin Spencer, who's part of the Returners, if you're not familiar with them. So, yeah.
Cool. And this is it, guys. This is the start. This is the Legend of the Gunstars military on the max power. Oh, and there you have it. The first track on this epic album. Holy cow.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the opening and the stage one. The guests, like I said, Andre Beller and Kevin Spencer from Returners. And I really wanted this one to just kind of like, make a heavy intro with, sweeping choir and wanted to feel really, really big. So that was sort of the vibe I was going for with that one.
It's a really solid vibe. Oh,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you. Yeah, and then I guess this is the first one that has like, I mean, it's the first track, but it was the first one where I was like, I feel like the first two tracks going together happened just so naturally in the original composition, which I thought was really cool. Is like the composer really did a good job of like, it felt like, oh, the opening ends, and then almost like if you instantly press start, it just like seamlessly goes into stage one, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, absolutely. And and then like you had the guest performers there too. You had Andre and Kevin. Solid delivery, obviously. Totally. Andre, actually, so in the first track, in the very opening, was actually my first attempt ever at playing bass guitar. So that's like me in the first part. And then the second half of the song is all Andre, because it was just like way too gnarly. Like there's no way that I could play that. So I was like, hey, Andy, can you help me with this, please? Because I can't do it, man. I'm not good enough. And he just nailed it perfectly, per usual. And then for the guitar, Kevin's somebody that I've always like. Kirby went on tour out into Texas a few years back, and we played with the Returners and Gimmick and that whole group. And man, his guitar playing was always just amazing to me. And we've always kept in touch since tour. And I reached out to him, and he's like, "Dude, I would love to do it." And he did just a killer job. His tone was amazing. So I was really stoked with that.
Hell yeah, it was. And Kevin does stuff. You wanted to plug the Returners a little bit, I think.
Yeah. I just want to make sure you check out Returners. They're an amazing band. We've played with them, like I said, out in Texas, and they're really awesome. You can put their band camp down there, but they're a really good VGM cover band as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I think we've let people hear the first track. Are we ready to drop this album?
Oh, yes, we should drop the album.
I guess we should drop it.
Drop it.
All right. Okay, let me get the link into the chat there, or if you've got it handy.
Yep, I gotta publish it real quick, and there it is. I guess it's. Yep. I guess I could drop it in.
Could drop it.
Ready?
Ready?
Drop it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom. What? You're not... Hold on. I need to auto mod you because you can't drop links. That is so noob. Okay, hold on.
Was I not supposed to be able to do that?
Oh man, I don't know. I just don't want to get spammed by trolls.
Oh, gotcha.
Leaving mod. There you go. All right. We're going to try this again. We're going to try and drop this album, okay? Everybody ready?
Oh,
yeah. Just,
am I doing something differently?
Nope. It's just the link's going to work this time.
Okay. Wait, I went to mod view. I don't know how to do this.
Don't worry about the mod view. Just drop the link in the chat. It should work.
Ready?
Ready?
Set.
Drop. Oh, there you go. All right. Yeah. It looks great. That link is a functional link if I ever saw one.
There we go. So it all works.
Awesome. But so go and get that album now. We're going to keep this party rolling because, damn, we're having a lot of fun here. Do you want to maybe just intro the next track?
Sure. So this next track is called, I think, Assault the Final Empire, which is actually the stage 5, and this is sort of we can talk about the arrangement after, but it just felt like the perfect second song. And on this track, it's actually Prime Legion, which is one of the other bands that I'm in, with Erich Beckmann, CarboHydroM, as he is known, and Max Noël. yeah,
All right.
enjoy.
Should we just start playing?
Sure. Let's do
Okay.
it.
Cool. Just gonna stop the background bullshit. Get the next song queued up, and yeah, here we go. Oh my gosh, that is so juicy.
Thank you.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I don't want to put anyone else down on the album because the rest of it's also just amazing. But this song, it's definitely one of my favorites. Like before the recording too, it's such a powerful like driving tune that I love it a lot. So I'm stoked.
Yeah, that definitely came through in your playing, that's for sure.
Thank you.
I love just like the expression that you give your notes and like all the modulation and stuff like that, dude.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Solid tone.
Thank you. Yeah, I that's actually part of what's cool. I tried to do is with this album, I really wanted it to feel like there was sort of, because with synths and stuff, it's tough because you can change to whatever patch you want, right? Like whatever tones and styles you want. A couple constant. I felt like there needed to be a couple constant sounds that really went throughout the whole thing. So like my lead synth patch is something that you might iconically see in most of the music that I record and play with. And so that tone is pretty much in every song. like that patch is throughout the whole album, and then usually playing lead, and then there's an organ that I love using. That's sort of that organ that plays through, and I really think that adds to like the sort of proggy style of it, right? Mixing those synths and organs and stuff. I was super influenced by like Yes and like Rick Wakeman, who's like the wizard of all synthesizers. So that was always something I tried to get did with this album. So
Yeah, absolutely. Is it time for us to bring our first guest on tonight?
oh yeah, I think it is.
Okay, let's see.
Is he ready?
Is he ready? Are we ready? Oh my goodness. No. Oh, I don't know. Eric, are you feeling shy? There he is. All right.
Wait, can you see me? And Gary?
The man, the legend, and also the cat, Erich WK Beckmann.
And the margarita.
Oh my god, I'm jealous. Okay, you guys babble for a little bit. I have to go get some scotch.
Yeah, do that, would you? So the reason Eric is here, I guess, is because he did drums on the entire album.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it without you.
No, you could not have.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Literally impossible.
This is very true. Do you want to talk about the drums a little bit?
Yeah, it took me a year to learn. It was an ass.
It was an ass.
It was an ass. Yeah, because some of the songs you came, you were like, you'll hear it. You'd be like, hey, I want to do this song. I'm like, oh, I can't play that. And then Andre would go, just do it. And I'm like, okay. And then I would just do it.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah. Andre, the voice of all reason in terms of like trying to inspire you to do something. Yep. Just be like, just do it.
Yeah, just make it happen.
Just make it happen.
Classic
and you'll do it. Classic Andre. It's a teacher in him.
It's true. It's true.
Right.
I mean,
right, Gary?
I would argue Andre's taught me a lot about being in a band and most of the things that I
actually. Can we just talk about only Andre?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
But I mean, he's gonna be on later, so.
Oh, okay. I guess
people will just get over it,
Sure. No one can get over talking about Andre all day.
Yeah, right.
Oh, Andre, how to get this cat? Oh, I found him at a party. I am not lying.
It's true.
Gary.
It's true. And then so we recorded drums with Rob.
Yeah. He plays bass in Watashiwa Dance Party, another band, and he did all the drum engineering for the last KDB album as well.
Yep. Yeah, he does. He has a really sick studio and
he's
super good at tracking.
Yes. Actually, this is too red. I want to change the color.
Yeah, you're looking a little red.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, underwater.
That's so
underwater. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who's our first caller?
What's that?
Who's our first caller? Oh, I'm the first caller? Oh,
yeah,
this is Loveline?
Yeah, this is Loveline.
This is Loveline, yeah.
Loveline for video game music.
Yeah. So the first time I had hepatitis
oh, jeez.
wasn't as bad as the second time I had gonorrhea.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense. What I was going to ask you about is because something that we'll talk about with mixing when when we get to that part of this. There is a stylistic thing that we did with the album, which was like we distorted a lot of the fills, and we really wanted to like over compress them and just distort them. And you'll hear it a lot more in the next couple of songs, but that came a lot from you. From Sukunu Naru.
Oh yeah, they're like a super dope proggy Japanese like rock band, and like during all the epic like drum fills, they just crank up the compression and like add drive, and it's super loud and awesome, and like it sounds like a growling airplane taking off. So when I did this album, I was like, I told Michael 1,000 times, make sure Stemage adds distortion to all my drum fills. Yep. More distortion, more compression on all my drum fills. And I want to be star of the show for 2 seconds. God damn it!
And we did that, and maybe we'll hear about that a little later. But
maybe we'll hear some double kick too.
Yeah, a little double kick from Eric. Who would have thought?
Yeah, a little. I remember when Michael's brother texted me. He goes, "Hey, you should do more fills on their next album," and I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." So this album is basically all just drum noise for 40 minutes.
Didn't you say this is like one of the hardest drums?
Oh yeah, by far. Yeah, it took me like a year to learn. It was absolutely absurd. I'm actually really stoked. It wasn't like we actually like played all the parts, and yeah, we did like doing a bunch of takes and stuff, but it wasn't just like too much faking. It was pretty honest.
Yeah, no, I think there was only like 2 takes per song, which was like
usually three. Usually three.
two. Yeah, well, I felt like there was two solid ones, and then the third was kind of like
fun. That's the fun one. In KDB, we do like 4 takes, 3 regular ones, and then 4 where Andre leaves the room and doesn't hear what disgusting things I do.
Pretty much.
He's like, those aren't the right notes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think that covers everything. Oh, and so yeah, and then I brought you on for this song specifically just because you're also in Prime Legion.
Yeah.
And we can talk about Chris and Max and how amazing they are.
Oh yeah, and Max just had twins.
That's true. Max just had twins, so congrats to Max.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
And they can play double neck bass now.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did an amazing job, and that's something that's always I feel so lucky is that like Carbo is somebody that I've always looked up to in this community as like from the VGM cover stuff. He does that like punk, just like amazing guitar tone, and he's always been an inspiration. So to have him on this album was like truly an honor.
Yeah,
sure.
Oh, his tone is disgusting. It's so good. It's the carb tone. You just bend up. He said that's a secret. Just bend up.
Yep. And then Max's playing is just nuts. He's just always super solid and shreds it. It's easy.
Yeah.
Makes it sound easy.
Makes it sound easy.
Pretty much.
Sweet. Cool. Should we did you want to say anything more about Prime Legion?
Yeah. So Prime Legion is a band that we're in with those two guys, me, Eric, and them, and it's based off of music that is original by CarboHydroM, Chris, and he lives in France, and he's been working on this music for a few years now, I think, and he dropped that album a little while back. It's on his Bandcamp. I don't know if you have that link to drop in there, but
I think so.
So his music. I think that's it. Yep.
Sweet.
So definitely check his stuff out. It's amazing. It's basically like a concept album that's based around like what if he was to make a shmup game, right? Like what his soundtrack would be essentially, and it's amazing. It's so cool. And so Prime Legion is the our band where basically it's a lot of Carbo's arrangements and then some of his original music that we cover and play, and we're working on an album right now too. So that's probably the next project that I'll be on, I guess, that we release. But
well, maybe we'll do it here.
Yeah, that would be pretty dope. Sounds like it'd be fun again.
Cool. Are we ready to intro the next track?
Sure can. Yeah.
Am I gone? And I come back later?
Sure, you can live.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm gonna watch on the TV. I'll be back later.
Thanks for coming, Eric.
Yeah, everybody say thanks, Eric. Cool, man. All right. Yeah, what do you want to say about this one?
So yeah, this one is Rolling Chaser, I think is the I gotta pull up
Heroes, Reprise for Yellow, Rolling Chaser. All of the names of
Reprise.
These songs are just so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually found them. There's like a like Japanese translated title thing from like the original release for like the soundtrack back way when the game came out in '93. We didn't even say that. Today is actually is the anniversary of the game, which is
it's the 27th. Like this game is officially in the 27 club.
It's true.
Or no, it avoided it, right? Because it's
avoided the club.
It's still alive, right? If it died today, well, it might. It
could still happen, but hopefully not.
It's got
That's
a year.
the point of this album, right? To bring life back into this music. So
yeah, before it dies.
Mm-hmm. And exactly.
It's not gonna die. You gave it the damn breath of life, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. But yeah, so this is celebrating its anniversary too, so that's really cool. And but yeah, those titles were all pulled from that like original soundtrack release back in the day. And so I just copied and brought those over, which I thought would be pretty cool. And then, but this song consists of the staff roll and stage 2. And to me, and this has Robby, Vocke, and George Norg, Nowik. Sorry if I messed those up a little bit, but they're mainstays in the shiz and in this VGM community, pros for sure, and honored to also have them on here. Just for reference, this has Chapman Stick by Norg. He did the bass on Chapman Stick, so super stoked on that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm super stoked too. All right, let's hear it.
Cool. That ending was like so timed. Holy shit.
that was not planned.
I got so close to down to 0, and then we just defeated the boss, and then the freaking crescendo of the song. It's so sick.
Oh my god. Yeah, what a treat.
amazing.
Holy cow. Oh man. Yeah, and that song is yeah, dude, like I'm all about the prog journey that's happening tonight. Holy cow.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
That's the idea. You know?
Oh man. So like that was the staff role though. That was like the end of the game pretty much. Like what made you want to like put that like track number 3. Here's the staff credits, you know? Like,
yeah. Well, so the first song is the staff roll. The second song is stage 2, which is weird, right? But the way that they're composed, it just sounds like musically they just fit so well together. And then the vibe of them didn't really feel like a staff roll to me. It just felt like, I don't know, like to me it's like usually an arc in an album, like you start really epic and like big and broad and open, and then that second one is like sort of like a hit, right? And then that third one takes you on like you're in deep with like the style and feel and vibe and you know where we're going with the music and all that. And this one really does a good job of like, it's so expressive, especially with like the bass line and it just, I don't know, it just felt like the proper third track to me, that you know, before we start getting on the upper part of the like conflict, right? It's like we're really deep into the journey until we get to that next point. So
yeah, man.
Sort of.
Well conveyed. Absolutely.
very philosophical. I know, it's funny.
Well, that's how you got to get with prog, right? You just got to like think of the bigger
Exactly.
picture and like all the, like what's the story arc? The story arc is your synth patch that like weaves out through everything, you know? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I
And yeah,
love
George
those
and Robby did such a killer job on this one. Like George's Chapman stick is so shreddy, it's amazing. When he sent it over, I was like, what? Like my mind was blown. So I was super stoked. And then Robby, what's really cool about I love about his style and tone is he really invokes that like his tone reminds me a lot of like the old Advantage days and like Mini Boss's style, right? Which a lot of this community is obviously a part of. But when first like diving into VGM and Kirby's Dream Band and all that stuff, those were the first bands that, you know, that Metroid Metal and CarboHydroM and all that. So it was just like, to me, it was like the perfect combination for this track, and it just like fits so nicely. So
Yeah, that song definitely gelled. Oh man.
And then yeah, at the end, like what I did sort of an arrangement thing where like it duplicates the ending and just keeps building and like kind of breaks down a little bit. And what's cool is this song sort of ends. It starts kind of like more ethereal and sort of ambient in that sense, and then it like towards the end it gets really heavy and almost dark. And what's cool is the next song you'll hear is probably the heaviest dark boss theme. So like I really emphasized that with the end of this track. So
Hell yeah. And did you want to like talk about the art a little bit? Because
absolutely,
I'm pretty sure this is like some of the best video game music album art that I've ever witnessed.
yeah,
and I've got some.
No, it's cool. The relevant part of this, what I wanted to talk about was Chuck Finbeard Simpson did this, and the reason I bring him up now is just he's in a band with Norg and Mega Beardo, Ailshan, and that crew has been like, you know, super ingrained in this whole community and everything, and so Grant Stemage actually recommended him to do the art, and I was like, dude, why didn't I even think of him? Like, his art is so amazing. Like, I've seen his art is perfect, and what I was trying to go for with this, and when I talked to him about the direction, was like, you know, I love like 70s, 60s, 70s like sci-fi novel covers, right? That like old classic look for sci-fi, and how like retrofuturism and like how the past thinks of the future, like how they think it will look, and being in space, and like, you know, the bubble helmets that like obviously are not practical in it by any means, but he did an absolutely fantastic job of like really capturing that while bringing his own style to it. And you know, it's funny because he's like, here's what I was thinking from like the poses and the characters and like the idea, and I was like, dude, this is literally what I imagined. So it was like phenomenal. He did a phenomenal job on this. And the other image you see is the the moon, and it's not Thanos.
It's not Thanos or Shredder.
No. It's General Gray, who's like the main antagonist of the story, and the crystals are like part of the story and everything. But that's actually for what should be the vinyl, which eventually I'm hoping to get printed. I figured, if people like the album enough, I'd get it vinyl printed of it, and it's cool to have that memorabilia, right? These days.
I don't have a record player. I want one.
There you go. Yeah, I listen to a lot of vinyl now too, and I collect a lot of EGM stuff for that. So, so eventually I want to get that all printed, and he did, beautiful back, and then the inside panel and all that. So, I'm super, super excited on it. He said he just did an amazing job. So, couldn't be more stoked.
Major kudos. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are we ready to move on to track 4?
I think we are. This is probably the heaviest, most metal track, and our guests to reflect that is Viking Guitar and Mega Beardo. They were actually one of the first people I talked to, and I was like, "Hey, would you guys want to do this?" And they're like, "Yes, send us the thing." And I sent it to them, and they literally were like, within days, they sent me back their tracks, and I was like, wow. And this was like years ago, so it was it's really
Did
awesome.
we cover that? Did we cover how long this album took to put together?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, it took 10 years from when I started arranging it to like it being done pretty quickly after that, like arrangement, and then like, hey, we gotta do drums, and then that's something we didn't talk about with Eric, but it took a while because we were recording Kirby albums and other things, and so eventually it just took a long time for us to be able to be like, okay, he had to learn it. It took him a year to learn just the drum parts. So then on top of that, getting ready to get into the studio and all that. So, and then eventually once the drums were done, that it's just the whole process just took too long. I think it was just, it's, to me, this was sort of a passion side project for so many years. So it is what it is, but
yeah, those passion projects, it's hard to be like, I have to do it by this deadline, but I mean,
right.
it could have been the 20th anniversary, and here we are at the 27th, and like, no complaints. No complaints. Yeah, right? It was worth the wait.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe let's not keep the chat waiting. Let's get that 4th track on, and here it is. This one is, I love the title on this one, Decision and Defeat. Or, sorry, Defeat Them All. Decision, Defeat Them All. All right. Oh,
Spoilers.
sorry, you got spoilers. You were not supposed to hear the beginning of that tune. Oh my goodness.
Lol.
Oh, yeah,
But-
the heaviest
but-
one on the album is right.
Right? Super, super heavy. For the record, we keep dying because I'm like looking over at the chat and trying to play. It's so difficult.
Oh, well, the obvious solution to that problem is guys just stop chatting. No, just
Yeah,
kidding.
right?
We don't
Nah,
want that.
please
no.
keep chatting. No,
Yeah.
it's great.
We love
It's
you.
good to see you guys.
It
Yeah,
would
I'm actually not good. You can ask Andre. I'm pretty bad at Mario. That's a running gag. So
Oh, so you're just like one of those fake gamer guys, hey?
Yeah. No, I'm actually pretty good at Mega Man and Super Metroid. I actually did pretty well. But
Oh, you're busted.
But yeah, should we get our guest in for this one?
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if they're ready here. Oh my gosh, we've got. Oh, I think we hear him.
Do you hear and see me?
We hear you.
We hear you. I think I need to just.
there he is.
There you are. There you are. Erik Peabody, the man himself, and I mean, like Grant's not here right now, or sorry, no, Mega Beardo. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Sorry. Anyways,
We're all different people, Josh.
I know.
They all play in a lot of the same bands together, but
Sometimes
It's 'cause
they
they
just
just rock,
exist in the same body as well.
exactly.
How are you doing, Eric?
I'm all right. I've been up since about 5:30 Eastern time, so I'm a little tired, but I'm happy to be here for this.
Appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, happy to
sure.
have you here. Absolutely.
So yeah, this track features you and Mega Beardo. Couldn't be more stoked. Probably the most fitting, I'd say, sonic to your own style. Would you say? Getting as metal as we can get.
Yeah, when we recorded this, we didn't have fully tracked drums or anything, right? I think you just sent us a scratch track. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's funny because I remember enough time had passed where you asked us to do it, and then time went by, and then you asked if we were still interested, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure.
That's
And
right.
then more time went by after I gave you the track, and then it was like within the last year that you hit me up about like, oh, do you want to hear the rough mix? And I'm like, the
Yep.
rough mix on what?
Yeah.
So,
Because it's years later.
but the point is, like, it's really cool to hear it with the full production and all the instruments and stuff, instead of just, me listening on my old setup 2 houses ago when I recorded this, to hear it
Yeah.
fully realized. And Grant, of course, does killer production, and all the instrumentation and stuff was amazing. So
sure.
it's very, very gratifying to have something kind of resurrected, as far as I'm concerned, to finally hear it reach fruition. And
Yeah, totally.
everyone did a great job on this.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more stoked. Like, I knew that's like before the track started. Like I was saying, is like I knew this song just like to me just invoked you and Mega Beardo being the perfect combo for this in my mind, and like
Thanks.
yeah, and like it just I don't know, I knew as I was going through and picking who would fit and all these things, like that was the first thing I feel like that just popped up, and yeah, it turned out really awesome. I couldn't be more stoked with it. So
Yeah, and it's cool because I agree. It's a very heavy track, but it doesn't at all sound out of place compared to the other stuff so far. I haven't heard the full album. I've just heard the 3 songs that we've all heard plus
Sure.
this one.
Mhm.
But you did a great job, not just arranging a soundtrack into something that sounds cohesive, but making it sound cohesive with, a million goddamn musicians. That's a feat right there. So good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of that credit also goes to Grant, just like being able to
Oh,
mix all
totally.
that stuff, right? And that was the challenge. It was like I was like going into this, I was like, how am I going to make this all sound like one thing, right? With so many different people.
Yeah.
And that's where I was hoping that a lot of the synths and stuff would really like ground it and make it have that cohesive feel. And
Yeah. Kind of be the
each-
common elements.
exactly. And then each
Yeah.
track just having its own, style a little bit to it. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, this one was super fun. It was also tough because like there's a couple boss themes that I really wanted to play with, and I the big thing that I loved about the first half is how it just like drops out, and I really wanted to do like the black hole, as I call it, is like just
Yeah.
like pure cut.
Digital silence.
Yep. And I even had it. I think I had it shorter, and Stemage was like, He's like, dude, how do you feel about like extending this just a little bit? And I was like, 100% down. Like, and he just nailed the timing of it, and it was like perfect. It was awesome.
You know, it's funny because it's been obviously a while now since I actually recorded the guitar, and you know, you can attest to this. I asked you before this show, I'm like, hey, send me the backing track and then send me what I actually recorded, because you know, especially like you sent me the mix just in its own thing, and I knew all guitars were either by Ryan or I, and he and I have been on so many things together now that I listen to it, and outside of one pinch harmonic, I'm like, I have no idea who did which part of this.
No, you guys blended so well together. It was awesome.
Well, we've got a lot of practice with it.
Yeah, right.
But you know, the one thing I remember is like you asked us to do it, and I said sure, and I didn't know the soundtrack, and I got I forget whatever it was you sent me a scratch. I think it was a MIDI line or something. And I was listening to it. I'm like, yeah, this isn't too bad. And then it gets to that part with those rapid slides, the wow 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 thing.
Yep.
And that was like, okay. I spent some time trying to do it live, and I'll own up to it. I definitely had to punch in for that stuff. It's just there was no way to make it accurate. So.
I mean, if you talk to any of the musicians that were part of this, there had to be, and there had to be so much punching on certain little parts, because like the composer Non is just like a master at like really harnessing the FM chip, and I feel he did Alien Soldier. And that soundtrack's very similar, and it's just, you can hear it like right now. It's just like there's so much flavor in all the sounds that he got out of the FM chip that it's just like, oh my god, like, and like the little like sirens and like all those like nuances that it just adds. It's such an intense element to a lot of it. And so I was like, I don't know if the guitars are going to be able to do this, but I'll throw it to them, see if they can.
Well, you know, I don't know. I think that most of the chat here are musicians in this scene also. And like, I think all of us have more than enough experience of like, this was never written to be played on any sort of live instrument, but find ways to do it and make it work.
Exactly. And I knew you could do like, that's the thing, is like throwing it to you guys is like those riffs. I'm like, I'm pretty confident these guys can do this. It's pretty ridiculous. I just told
you I have to punch in for it, so.
I had to punch a handful of times myself too, so. It's, it is the nature of the beast, I guess. But.
Yeah. No, it was totally fun. I wish we could have Beardo in here also.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's still on the chat and can toss some snide comment my way for calling him out.
Sure.
But no, it's always great working with you guys and stuff. So
thanks, man. You too.
And also it's, I was a Nintendo kid growing up, so a lot of these Sega soundtracks, I haven't had too much exposure to. So this is like an opportunity to, I have people that are just passively going out and curating lists of awesome Genesis music for me, like this, so. It was all in all was a very good experience. Your Yelp review will be very favorable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that very much. Hopefully it's as the stars fit with the Gunstar aspect to this, right?
Yes, very good.
Oh my god. Yeah, let's throw around more bad puns, shall we?
Yes, right?
Well, thanks again, guys.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for being on. Did you had something coming up soon? Right?
Oh yeah. I'm playing a show next week. I think it's Friday. I think it's about 9:00 Eastern time. It's going to be on Geek Beat Radio. They're having their like 10-year anniversary or something. So I'm performing a short little set. There are apparently a whole bunch of other musicians doing sets. The marketing materials are kind of not quite ready yet, so I don't have any other information for you, but if you're around next Friday, 6 Pacific time, 9 Eastern, and you want to see some Viking guitar stuff and probably stuff from other musicians, definitely tune in.
Awesome, dude.
Absolutely.
I hope chat checks that out for sure.
Cool.
Well,
thank you guys again.
Thanks for joining us, Eric. Good night, bud.
All right. Take care.
Later, dude.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. I dropped a link in the chat there for that, Geek Beat Radio. Hopefully Friday at a certain time. I'm sure if you're following Eric like anywhere on the internet, I know he's really active on Twitter. He'll tell you about it. That was awesome, and like Brian and Eric did such an awesome job on that track.
They did. So stoked on it.
So solid.
So happy.
Are we ready to start the next track?
Yes, we are. I think we are.
Rolling right along.
Yeah, track 5. The original tunes are stage 4 and stage 3 boss theme. And
In
then-
that order?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, really weird, right? They
Yeah.
just again, it just like the music. I go off the music, right? Not
Music
not
speaks.
necessarily the levels and stuff, but I want the music to make sense. But the track's called Dice Dance Days, Dancing Smash Hero.
Awesome. Here it is. Okay. Oh man,
kicking our ass.
that song is just a journey through the stars. Holy cow!
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely like the most, in my opinion, crazy proggy of the album for sure. So they're kind of tired now. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, as a musician, I'm just like, oh, like playing that would be exhausting for sure.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. So that one had I didn't say it beforehand, but that has Stemage and Chunk Style on as the guests. Really bringing that Metroid metal feel to this, I would say. Which before I mean, like I said early on, Metroid Metal was also one of those bands that I first discovered when getting into this whole community and VGMs and stuff. That like was a massive inspiration for me. I almost feel like they were like probably the second after finding out about mini bosses to me was like I listened to them all the time through Andre. So having them on here is truly an honor. And speaking of, I think they were gonna hop in here and
Yeah, I think they were gonna join us in the
I
chat.
think they were.
We'll just wait to see. Oh,
Hey, look.
wow!
Hello?
Just popping right
Look
in.
who it is.
Are we working?
We're
Are we live?
We're live.
Chunk!
Hello.
What's up? Oh, look! Chunk's here.
Chunk is here.
Hi, guys.
What a
Hey,
pleasure.
boys.
Thanks
You
for
think
being
you're tired after that song.
here.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, right. Yeah. How did that? You want to talk about the song a little bit from your guys' perspective?
Actually, we do. Yeah,
I think we have a few things to say.
Oh,
we have some thoughts.
We do have some
Okay.
thoughts.
Is this the time when I'm
And,
supposed to drop
yes.
something? Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Just
Josh
let
with
me-
the drop.
Yeah, Josh with the drop. Okay,
Josh
here we
with
go.
the drop. Uh-oh. Oh.
We've written some thoughts
Oh
for
shit.
you, Monte, and
Uh-oh.
in haiku.
Yeah, the
Oh.
only way.
Wow.
The only way. Dan,
You go ahead, Grant.
you want me to kick
You
this
start.
off?
You start. Yeah, you start.
The Gunstar heroes would not demand this of us. Why so many notes?
Montemarano. What the fuck is with this track? I don't have 3 hands.
Mike wants legato. Tippy tap tap taparoo. Fuck. Time to punch in.
Why is this so fast? My calluses have blisters. Notes not meant for men.
Monte with short hair? Not the Arabian prince that I once longed for.
Unleash trickery. Cheating requires skill too. Production techniques.
Monte has a dream. Only 4 whole years later, a nerd's mind is blown.
Carpal tunnel time. At least I'm not tracking drums. Eric is a stud.
Dude, that's amazing.
Oh wait, no, wait, it's this.
There you go. The curtain slowly falls.
It's the drop.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll snap to that. Holy cow.
Dude, that was amazing.
I guess it's 10 years apparently. See, I think we were only
Yeah.
aware of it for 4-ish, but
You know, I just faked it. I didn't want you guys to know how long it actually took me.
that Witch's Brew, it's a slow,
Right?
you know.
I could have used the
slow
time to
royal.
practice that some more, actually, to
Right?
be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have
Yeah.
thrown it your way way
Sounded
earlier.
like that.
No, you guys are amazing writers. Do you guys, I mean, where did that come from? That was amazing.
I mean, what do you after playing a song like that? What are you gonna do?
Fair enough.
Where are you
Fair
gonna
enough.
You're
go?
gonna play.
Fair
You're gonna
enough.
do some haikus, yeah.
Right.
Naturally.
Inspiring is
Beautiful.
what it is, yeah.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
So
Yeah, we were talking about this. We're like, because you said several times that you were pulling in people based on where you thought they would fit best, and we've
Yes.
decided that you think we are absolutely crazy people,
yes, this
and
is
we're
true.
okay with it, and we're fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, everything I know from Metroid Metal days and listening to all that music, like you guys are nuts at, you know, your instruments, your crafts. So I think you're fully capable, personally. But sorry if it was a little, you know, too much. But
Oh no, we got it.
you did nail it.
We're
You guys
good.
did nail it.
We had fun. Actually, it was really cool hearing. It's like what Eric was saying. You know, we did our parts, and then, I think Dan and I were in another conversation. And we were like, "What is going to be like? What is he adding to like? We don't know, like what could even just with the guitar and the bass
Right.
is like kind of a mind fuck, right?" So,
I heard it for the longest time with just drums and bass, and I'm like, what else?
yeah.
What else?
What
else
else?
is there,
What
right?
else?
I know. I mean, that's a
So
credit
much,
to,
apparently.
to Norio. Like the composer just like his mind. Like I want to like I want a glimpse in there and see what's going on to make him do such intricate, crazy, proggy music. You know, it's amazing. Super talented.
Yeah.
And it definitely, I think it speaks a lot to the the essence of the game when it's like high tension, like you're jumping around and all these bullets are flying and it's just like out of control.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, completely out of control.
completely.
Completely out of control.
Besides that, I mean, this track to me was definitely like the crescendo of the sort of boss moment, right? Like that arc coming down off the arc, the final battle, so to speak, before like really as a hero, like finishing the journey, I guess, if we're gonna get philosophical. But so yeah, I felt like that was pretty appropriate.
Something too, I want to point out that I don't think people who listening to the final product would ever notice. And it really hit me when you described it like this, but you actually will go back. So like there's a lot of guitar leads on this thing and you'll do unisons, like you'll play along with them, like just to double up. And you'll do this, you actually attempt to play along with the performance. Like you don't just play the part. If someone's doing a weird slide into a note or they're doing a little bend thing, you really try to sync in with them so it sounds like one instrument.
Totally.
And when you mentioned that, I could really notice it because I was having to listen to individual parts, and it was super impressive. So
thank you.
I didn't really. It's one of those things you wouldn't notice unless you weren't doing it. Mm-hmm. So good job there, buddy.
Thank you. No, yeah, like that's why when we were talking about it, like your solo, like your lead coming in on that second half of the second song, like I was like I have to match this because he played it so smoothly and just like there's the nuance of your style that I wanted to sort of match. And that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Sort of like the
He's complimenting himself and then saying, "Hey, you did a good job copying me."
Oh, I did that first. That's right. I take it all back.
You were the one I was matching, so.
Yeah.
But no, like that's something that like I've always tried to do, and I think that came from like Kirby days, right? Like when we first started arranging stuff, it was like, Ryan Munns and Ryan Olsen in the very beginning too. It was just like, matching the nuance of the guitar. That's why usually the keys we would always track at the very end, because we want what already is sort of like, it's synth waves. It's a little more. We're also covering video game music, which is primarily all like, as many people call them bleeps and bloops, right? To me, they're still synths, right? So like matching it to feel almost like a little more humanized, whereas I feel like guitar really like, and bass and drums all have that natural, human side to it, where I think synths can, if it's too programmy, it can come off as a little like, still programmed, right? And very computerized. So like, to me, I like matching guitarists and bass players and stuff like that, because it brings that a little more of that human element to it, which I think sometimes can be missed from synth. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Dig it.
Hell yeah. But yeah, Grant, you also mixed this album.
I did.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, I had wrapped my head a little bit around what Eric's drums, because of the Kirby's Dream Band experience, which is kind of nice to know you have an idea of what drums are gonna be like. But everything you sent was really, I was wondering what it would sound like when, like, the first time playing all these layers, all these synth parts, and all the guitars and everything else. But everything has its place, and I think that's a testament to the choice of instruments you used and the players, but also the original material, which he went layer crazy, but everything has its place, So it was a lot of fun. Like it was cool to get a first pass done and then jive with ideas, and there's like an Easter egg or two in there, and
yep, definitely.
Effects and weird stuff. And you were like, if you had ideas, you were just like, whatever. I don't even know what they were. I don't know. By the time you're done with this, you don't know what your idea was and what my idea was. It doesn't matter.
That's
it's all
the best
done.
part. It's a collaboration, right? Like that. That's why it was amazing working with you on it, because it was just, I felt like it was so natural. Like we just jived on what the vision was, and you'd send something and I'd be like, dude, this is like, there's like so minor tiny little things of like maybe some volume things, just because I've listened to the soundtrack like way too many times for 10 years, right? Sure. And but beyond that, like it just the sound just, I just feel like we were pretty in sync, and it came out amazing.
Yeah, I'm like I was a Genesis kid, and I love the FM stuff, and I love the rocky FM stuff, and so this kind of fell. I love shmup music and Sega music, and this just kind of falls right into that category. So it was super fun for me.
Yeah, it was awesome. And like when I was talking to Eric, like those drum like distortion parts that we worked
Oh,
through.
yeah.
Like those were some of the more like, how do we do this?
Yeah.
What should we do? And we were like kind of go back and forth, and it was really fun to just like have that collaborative
Yeah.
sort of experience on it. So
Agreed. I'm trying to remember when you originally approached me about this, but I think it was about 4 years ago.
That makes
Around
yeah,
a little later.
that
I don't
makes
remember where, if it was on Facebook or if it was at a GDC rendezvous, but we made it. We're here.
Yeah. We made it happen.
Nailed
Came
it.
together.
Yeah.
Couldn't have asked for more. So I'm super grateful to you both. You guys crushed this for real.
For real.
Thanks. It was really fun. Actually, I still play the parts that I can play live as sort of a pick up the guitar and pick up the bass and noodle around. So
Yeah.
it's fun stuff.
It's fun to play. Like
Yeah.
some stuff is just fun to play physically.
Totally.
And
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, those melodies for me, I like even when I started arranging it, like I would find myself just noodling on those melodies all the time, and it's addictive to really like keep, it like keeps your chops up, and it just, I don't know, it's fun to always continue to do. So, but yeah, you guys have something coming up too soon, I think.
We do. There's a Yes Mayhem project that is. It may be completed as of this morning. I don't know, Dan. Maybe we'll decide tomorrow.
It may be. Yeah, I'll sleep on it.
Why don't you tell the
please.
listeners what in the world Yes Mayhem is?
It's as you described it once. What we do when we're not doing Metroid Metal. It's
yeah,
Grant and me and Kevin from Metroid Metal and my friend James playing original music. And this album has a few guests on it. Someone that maybe is familiar to the viewing audience at the moment. It's Monte.
What? Oh, me.
You missed the drop, man.
Oh, all right.
The name drop, naming
There we
you
go.
at your own listening party.
Cool.
You're in there, so yeah.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. I think you sent me that pretty recently, and I just jumped on and played a little bit, and it was super fun. It was actually awesome to hear that side, because I haven't really heard, I had never heard Yes Ma'am, so I was like, when you sent that over, I was like, dude, this is so rad. I was so stoked on it, and like, you know what it actually reminded me of is the show Grant, you and I went to in San Francisco back in the day.
Oh, we went and saw Shiner together.
Yeah, Shiner. That
Okay.
like when I was that actually was the first thing that kind of I was like, oh man, this reminds me a little bit of that, like Metroid Metal, obviously, but it's just so super rad. It's like I loved it, so I was stoked to be on that. I'm excited
Cool.
for it.
Yeah, that's just like a 10 song, 11 song record of original stuff with us, and it's out real soon.
Real soon.
Yeah.
That's all we can say.
Super
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you for that too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have got the link in the chat there for yesmayhem.com, so just go
sweet.
and watch that for the release. Yeah, Grant, Chuck, thanks for joining us on the stream tonight.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Really
Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. And with that, we're well over the hump on this album now. We're on to
We
track
are.
6.
Yep.
I'm still reeling over the freaking haikus.
Dude,
nerve
that was
of those guys.
amazing.
Oh,
that
my
was so
God.
good.
Oh,
like my face was hurting from laughing too much. It's so good.
Well, maybe the track title of this 6th tune is appropriate. This one is called "Last Party on the Moon."
Oh yeah, this is actually the track that sort of sparked the album, actually, which is interesting. When I was first diving into the soundtrack, and I was actually working with Ian Lucky on this, I had found it, and I was like, dude, this is an amazing song, and it was the first one I wanted that band to do. And what's funny is before Kirby's Dream Band, we were trying to. I really wanted to do, like, I was pushing the Sega Genesis thing, and like, let's do a Sega Genesis cover band. And Ian came up with the band name Sprites Templar, which is really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
good.
so we were gonna do just a bunch of Sega stuff. And he's like, well, I wasn't as much of a Sega kid. And then we kind of like tweaked it, and eventually it became Kirby's Dream Band. But this was the first song that like sort of sparked that. So I thought it'd be super appropriate to have Kirby's Dream Band be the cover. They're the performers of this track. So
Awesome. All right,
Yeah.
and here it is.
did they say?
Oh man! All right. Well, we will continue that in a little bit here. Oh my gosh!
So good.
Couple of noobs here on stream. I thought Twitch was a place for elites only.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. We're like looking at the chat, we're listening to music, and then it's just like jumping into random parts of the game. You know, it's just like
we're just here to have a good time,
right?
I mean, and a long time maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
We've only got one more track to go, so it can't be that
Sure.
long. But I think this is still like the longest track on your album. But
I think so.
We don't need to get too ahead there. Like, yeah, like that was notably like a Kirby's Dream Band sound on that track.
That like what's funny is like I started the album 10 years ago when Kirby had different members, and then obviously Kirby's changed over the years, but like
Kirby's changed. I just picked multiple Kirby's have changed,
yes.
but
by eating other enemies and stuff. This is the current form, which is cool because like we actually tracked not super long ago like the rest of the group, right? We had the drums done, and I had done a lot of keys for this song already, and then Jake Foster came over and we recorded, and then we got Scout to do Scout's guitar, and like Andre obviously just like, hey, can you do this? And then then he just does it immediately, just literally the next day. So speaking of, we should probably have him come in here.
Yeah, Andre, are you kicking around? Come and join us now. There he is.
Hey, it's that guy.
In the digital flesh. Oh god.
Dude,
I mean, hey,
are you in space? You sound like you're in space.
No, I'm okay now.
I mean, the album has sounded like we're all in space so far.
Nice.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
an easy mistake to make there, Monte.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, this one and the first track you played bass on.
Yep.
Right.
That's me.
That's me.
Playing the bass on those tracks. Okay,
How are
good,
these,
good talk. Good talk. We'll see.
Yeah. How are these parts for you? Was it as challenging or as crazy as?
Yeah. So the first track, it's actually like a bass line. I think I actually played it, and then this last one, like Stemage said, so much punching in because the bass line's just so weird.
Yeah. I think a lot of the bass lines were just like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, a lot of the music in general, but yeah, the bass lines are like really jumpy and hard.
Yep.
But
yeah, I think that's part of the reason I gravitated towards the soundtrack is just like how chaotic and crazy and wild it is. So, but this,
but I remember this one is like the hit single because it is most. I guess it's like the most normal. Like you can remember that melody and stuff.
Exactly. Like this one and the second track to me are the most like hit singly, for sure. And I just felt like this is like Kirby doing this was like perfect. And part of the reason I wanted Kirby to do it was so that we could play it live one day, whenever we do that again. But one day I hope. But
I hope. I want to see that track live.
Ryan Olsen hopes.
Yeah, right? I miss Ryan Olsen. He's in here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's around.
Oh, there he is.
Eyebrows.
Andy in space. But yeah, actually, Olsen was early on. He helped with a lot of the sort of giving me feedback on the arrangements and stuff too. So that was really cool when like the Kirby stuff. I miss you too, Olsen. I miss you. But yeah, no, this track is like definitely that hit singly sort of. To me, it's also from that arc perspective. It's wrapping up the album of like you did it pretty much. Like this is the final push, and like then you party after it, like we're doing right now. So just gonna party on the moon.
Here's to that.
Heck yeah.
Exactly. Andre, do you have anything coming up soon that you're releasing or doing? You just did a Bach album.
I did that. I don't know. I'm always doing a Bach album.
That's true.
I did one a while ago. I've got a live stream next Friday, but I don't know if I want to invite all these people because it's for my work. So I don't know if I want you guys.
Don't go to
If you guys show up, no cowboys whatsoever of any sort in the chat.
No cowboys.
exactly
What?
what you
We
mean.
all got to impress your boss.
Yes.
You're inviting us all to your work party.
Yeah.
Work party live
I'll probably
stream.
post about it. Well, yeah, I don't really have much coming up, so whatever. We can talk about. Why don't we spend our time talking about the Moss Technologies SID chip?
Oh yeah.
You got the the 6581, the 8580.
That's true. Yeah, so actually the SID chips are the chips I use for Kirby and for Vic Viper, the other band I'm in with Andre.
Are they on this album at all?
Yep. There's like
Sick.
I think this song has it, and then I think the first song has it. A couple things from the bigger one that you gave me. But yeah, it's a mainstay for Kirby, so I felt like it had to be in this one for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. Most of the synths actually are Moog and FM8. I used a lot of FM8. I used a lot of new plugins that actually Eric suggested, the Arturia suite.
Oh yeah.
And that whole stuff. Yeah, FM8's like one of my favorites. And I mean, this is an FM soundtrack, right? So I had to do a lot of FM stuff. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Purist.
But yeah, purist. Right.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's too much. Nice. Yeah, I think that's it for this one.
All right.
Well, nice hearing your modulated voice, Andre.
Yeah, good thing I came on as a guest star.
Yeah, thanks for popping in and chatting with us.
All right, later, dudes.
All right, later,
All right.
man.
I mean,
Later,
I'll
man.
still be here, but we'll see you later also.
Okay.
Dope.
Nice. IRL. Oh
Yeah,
man. Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay. Well, and we are nearing
Wrapping
the
it
end
up.
of our journey. Yeah.
We are. Yep.
Yeah. This is the last track. The end of Battle to
Outworld.
Outworld.
I know. It's wild.
It's so wild. Why does it have to be so wild?
You know, I thought I was like, should I name them just like Stage 7 and Staff Roll and Ending?
I
And
mean,
then I was like,
no.
no, these are so unique, and you know, some of them could probably make great haikus for Dan and Grant to craft out of with their ability to do that, which is extremely impressive.
Yeah. Well, points off for not doing that already.
Right?
Yeah. They got a 9.5 out of me for their haikus.
So good. So good.
Oh man.
But
Cool.
yeah, so this one's the last track. This has the guest of Ryan Munz or Munzadeth on this track, and he's a huge fan of ending themes, and as am I. And so I felt like this is perfect to have him on, but we can talk more about it after. But
Yeah, definitely.
this is the ending credits as well for the game.
Wait, so there's because you had staff credits.
So
That's
there's
track
staff
3.
roll, and then there was ending.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're technically different in
So
the
this
game.
is
This is
and
like
we're not
the
going to get to
cinematic.
this. Right, we're not going to get to that part in the gameplay tonight.
Definitely
because
not with
we're
how
two
much we're
noobs.
dying and
Yeah.
you know.
Okay,
song
but you
after
guys
song.
get to experience it sonically at least.
Yes.
Yeah. So without further ado, here we go. Wow. Oh.
Andre, you taught me music theory. You taught me everything I know. You're my teacher. Oh, we wanted to get to the continue screen so it matched the visual of the fade out.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. There it is.
There it is. We got there.
Continue? Yeah, absolutely. I think all of you should continue to listen to this sweet music. So head on over to Monte's Bandcamp and get it now for your mobile devices and just put it in your ear holes. That's my advice. Monte,
Yep.
say something. Save me. I'm drowning.
I'm also trying to get it on Spotify and iTunes and everywhere else right now. I'm just going through licensing and stuff. It's supposed to be out today, but had a couple snags, so it should be fine. But should be on there pretty soon. And yeah, but to go back to this last track, Munz did the guitar for this, and this was actually I played bass on this one too, which was like I used Eric's bass. He let me borrow his I think it's Fujikin bass, and it was definitely different to try to like. I really wanted to. A dream of mine is always to like do all the instruments, right? Like, and as much as I love collaborating with all these amazing artists, it's like one day maybe I could do a song completely by myself. So learning bass is my first step outside of keyboard, and yeah, that's how something like that.
Mhm.
Spell the bass that way. I don't know. But
Fujigengaki.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. This one was also probably the most uniquely like I did a lot with the arrangement. I tried to make it pretty different, and I really wanted to like milk the drawn out ending and how it like went in and out. And the accompaniment part is the breakdown without the melody, and I just kind of made that the melody because tracking. I was like, oh man, like listening back to all the different parts when I was dissecting it and arranging it, I felt like that'd make a really cool breakdown melody because it just does a simple loop, right? Like most game, this era of video game music does.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to like play with that, and I thought it was a cool way to do the breakdown. And then actually the piano solo at the end was something I added very much like very, very end of tracking. And I was like, I wanted to do something, but I wasn't sure what I was. And then I was like, I feel like a really cool like piano outro solo with the space fade out. And Grant nailed that like sound. I didn't even have to say much. He just like perfectly nailed it.
Oh,
so
no, definitely. And it's like, especially like in when you're talking about like a progressive like concept album, like and the narratives and stuff that are involved, like that piano outro is just kind of like, and there we go, closing the back cover of a good book,
Exactly.
I felt that immediately.
And it's funny because usually I hate like just fade outs because it's like it just fades out and then it's like you could have ended it somehow, but it's like one of the only instances where I feel like a fade out is super like appropriate is like bringing something back in that is just different, right? And I wanted that spacey vibe that was really what the tone of the album. So I felt like spacing it out and then just having the piano come in would be really nice. So,
and it was.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, Munz's vibrato and his shreddery fit perfectly for this, right? Just like heart-wrenching solos. So
Yeah, he's playing the heartstrings, you know. He's not
Right?
just tugging on them. He's got
exactly,
his picks and his fingers on them.
exactly.
So good.
Yep.
Yeah, and you wanted to maybe talk a little bit about like the parallels between Shatterhand and Gunstar.
Yeah, I mean, Munz and I kind of started these, I think, kind of at the same time. He got his done way, way before me, obviously. But I remember us talking about like arrangements and stuff, and he and I would spend a lot of time like going back and forth. And I feel like it was cool to see his come out, and then, you know, it inspired me to do a lot of the things that I was doing on this album. And I don't know, to me they're like, and maybe this might be presumptuous of me, but I feel like they're kind of like sister albums, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like he influenced me a lot on that stuff, whether he knows it or not. But yeah, his Shatterhand album is amazing, so you should definitely go check that out.
You guys could do a double vinyl release.
Dude, so that's a really good idea, actually.
Oh, sweet. Yeah,
Should talk to him about that.
Credit me.
Give you a producer credit.
Producer. I had this really great idea once. I'm a producer.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go. But yeah, I mean, and then speaking of the vinyl thing, I'm gonna try to get vinyl made for these. I think that just takes especially during COVID, that's a huge process. I guess these days, I looked into it with Eric, and he mentioned that it takes like a 2 to 3 months to like get it going at this point. So I definitely wanted to do it. I wanted to do pre-orders for today, but couldn't get it going. But I'll eventually get those up, especially if people say they want them, you know. So yeah,
definitely. Where's the best way we can get people to have like notifications? Like if they follow you on your Bandcamp, is that going to be sufficient for news on the vinyl?
Yeah, you could do it on Bandcamp because it'll notify everyone that is like a follower, or if you like subscribe to the Bandcamp or whatever. But I also have Twitter, Monte on the Run. So if you want to follow me there, I'll probably post about it. And yeah.
Is that on the Run with 2 N's on your Twitter?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, it's just one. It's just Monte on the Run.
All right.
Oh, I didn't even post the post I was supposed to post. Bummer.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are all out of luck then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys.
No links to his Twitter. You just have to look him up. Yeah.
Yep.
You
But
guys,
not yet.
we've been handing stuff to you like all night. Just do a little work for yourselves. All
Yeah,
right?
right.
God. Oh man. Yeah. Final thoughts on the album. It's a beautiful piece of work.
Thanks, man.
I mean, like for the 10 years of labor that you went into, and like
Right.
now you finally like
10
given
years.
birth.
Right.
Yeah. Like this felt like a momentous occasion, and like I really enjoyed like listening to the music. And
Thank you.
and like thanks, like I'm pretty sure you just like kind of came to me about the whole like album like release listening party thing, and like I
Yeah.
don't know, I ate it up, but like thank you, because this has been just like such a rad time.
Yeah, man. No, I watched one of the last shows you put on, and I was like, dude, this is so sick. Like, I feel like this is perfect, especially during this time. Like, you know, doing a listening party and something like that. I thought it'd be fun, and like most of the people in here, I think are close friends, and you know, it's just cool to like connect and have some of the guests show their faces and say hello and things like that. So,
Write
no,
your haikus.
thank you for having this. I think it's really important for the community and the, you know, artists to be able to have an outlet to do this stuff. So, you know, thank you so much for hosting this and hosting other shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll perform on one of these. Would be really fun.
Well, and you should. Yeah, I mean, like
That'd be
I
cool.
feel like you've given us all an incredible performance tonight as it is, but yeah, to do
Thanks.
like, and you had your cameo in Muntz's set
yeah.
a couple of
Yeah.
VGM fests ago. I mean,
Yeah, that's fun.
but like, yeah, just to have you on stream and doing like your own live set, like you could, I don't know, man, you could perform your portion of this album, and I would be completely happy.
Hell yeah, yeah, maybe we could definitely figure it out. I would love to do that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. and because I know a lot of the people in the chat here are they're probably already up on the situation and stuff, but the next virtual VGM Fest is actually going to be this Saturday, starting at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. We've got a pretty killer lineup, actually. Where did I put that banner just so you guys can all see.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. We've got King Boo Boo, previously Xantilla. We've got Tiggs, Tia Rose Maxfield, famously singing with Console and for Materia Collective projects. Ron and Op F, famously of Birthday and lots of other projects. Steven Strums of the Super Guitar Bros and the Videri String Quartet. Yeah, that's going to be an awesome time. I do want to get
Looks great.
Monte on there at some point.
Sick.
I'm not going to be doing a virtual VGM Fest for October. I usually do it on the second Saturday of each month, but like Mag West has usurped my hosting skills for their weekend on October 2nd to 4th. I know, but that's fine because I honestly like the 6th one is going to be this weekend, and I'm kind of looking forward to a little break.
Yeah, right.
I don't
There you
have to
go.
do so much tech stuff. I just kind of get to sit on a video and
Enjoy
talk
the show.
bullshit. Yeah.
Right.
And the lineup for that, we'll announce that on Saturday. I don't want to spoil too much or babble on too long, but yeah,
Yeah,
this
cool.
has been an amazing listening party. Like averaging about 50 people in the chat. Like that's pretty amazing for just like our first
Yeah, it's
time
awesome.
doing like a listening party. And
Thank you all
and-
for coming. You know,
Yeah,
I appreciate it. A
Yeah,
lot of friends in here. I appreciate that for coming out. You guys rule. Love you all.
little tear in the eye.
No,
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Is there any final words, Monte? I think I'm just
No,
gonna.
I just hope people enjoy it. Thank you for coming out and listening and hanging out and partying with us, and stay tuned for vinyl and more stuff. And thank you all. Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right. Thanks everybody. We're gonna start logging off here, but we'll leave you with some of the album art maybe. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're gonna
There you
leave
go.
you with some fucking vinyl here.
Yeah.
Gonna line this up and then we are good to go, Monte.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, good night everybody. Have a good one.
Good night. Thank you all so much.